Hello, my friends. In this section, I think it could be last section for this YouTube clone. So after that, maybe I can also make some notification function or a search function and so on. But based on the plans that I made for this one, actually this is our last section. So in our last section for YouTube clones, we are going to make the like and dislikes of function. So when we click this like button or dislike button, we need to trigger on like function and on dislike function. So, but we also need to remember the cases we're going to face when we are dealing with our likes and dislikes. So I hope you can remember these parts that we did in our last section. And now we can start making this unlike function first. But before starting to make this ones, I missed just the one thing in the comment part, so I'm going to see what I've missed. First, I'm going to our application in here. First, I'm going to make the new commands in our first steps. So I just type hello and then I click the submit, and then you see this the first steps command we just made it. So I'm going to just reply to this command. So we just type hello 2. So I click this submit. So but you see actually nothing happened. We were expecting that the post that we uploaded to come up in here, but actually nothing happened. So we actually need to put one more line to solve this problem, but we didn't do that in our comment section because I forgot it. Sorry about that. So I'm going to just let's just see how I can solve this problem. So we go to our text editor, and in here put props and comment list and props and parent comment ID. These two things are the only thing we need to put to solve that problem. So I am going to save it and we go back to our application. So I am going to prove whether it works or not. So I am going to make one more the comment hello again, and we have our first step comment. I'm going to reply to this comment. So I click it. We are expecting this one to come up in here as a second steps for this first steps. I'm going to click the submit. So you see we get this one. So we can click this one to see this comment we just made it. So how can we let this happen by just putting these two things? When we just make this one empty, this meaning is, so we only want to trigger this parse at the first time the DOM is ready. But if we put this one in here, so whenever this props and comment list changed and props and parent comment ID is changed, we want to just trigger this part again and again. So when this comment list, so we put something in here, if we click the submit button, so we will have new comment list. That's why this part will be triggered again. So this comment number will be changed. So that's why this one will be more than 0. So we will render this part. That is the way we can solve this problem. So even for this second step, we can type here to prove whether it's working well or not. So I click this one. So you can see right after making this one, these parts appear. So we click this one to see our third steps command. So now we really finished our command part. So now we come back to our original section. So we are going to make this unlike function first. So we go to like and dislike component here. In here, we will just put this on like variable for onClick function. So we define this variable in here on like and arrow function and inside in here. So we will first face the two case. The one case is when this like button is already clicked, and the other case is this one is not already clicked yet. So we will separate these two cases. So to do that, if like action is null, so because you see here the initial state is null, that's why I give the null in here, and then we will do else. So I will do Axios a post request in here. The path will be, the URL will be API and like and up like, because when this one is not clicked, or if we click it, so we will just increment this like by 1. So that's why I say up like. And then response, if response data and success and else alert fail to increase the like. I copy and paste it in here, and this will be just unlike the opposite of this up like. It will be fail to decrease the like. So first we will make this router inside the like routes. So first we go to like routes in here. So we copy this one and paste it, and we change the URL. But I forgot to put this variable in here. So first I will make the variable in here, but we are just going to use this variable we made in our last section. So inside this variable we can have video ID property or user ID, or command ID and the user ID. So we put this variable in here and here too, and save it and go to our like routes. So we also get this variable in the way we did for get dislikes router and get likes router in here. So we are going to make the two processes. So one process is the first, we will save the like information data in the MongoDB, and then there will be one case this like button is already clicked when we click the like button. So in case this like button is already clicked, so we need to decrease this like by 1. So these are the two processes we need to do in here. So first we need to bring the like model. So new like, and we put the variables in here, and we just need to set this one into the census. We save it, and then we get error or like result. So if we get the error, return response.json, success, false, and error. And we will do this second step. So in case this like button is already clicked, we need to decrease the dislike by 1. So to do that, we need to bring the dislike model and then find 1 and delete. So we will put the variable again, and we will execute the query, error, and dislike result. So if error, return risk and status for 100, and JSON and success, false and error. And if it was successful, we the response and status to 100 and JSON success true. So now we finish making this uplight router, and now we go back to our client in here. So after being successful for this request, so what we need to do in here is, so after clicking this one, so we need to increase this number by 1. So first I will just set like. So I bring the likes state, and I will just plus 1. And then I also need to change this status. So if this is clicked, it will turn into the black color. So I also need to change that status, set like action, and action will be just the light, which is the black color of the button. And below this, there is one more thing that we need to do, is if this like button is already clicked, so this button is already clicked, when we click this like button, we need to change this one, status and the number too. So in here, set dislike action needs to be the null, and set dislikes, so dislikes -1. Now we did everything for this uplight request, and then we also need to finish for this unlike request. So we go to our like router, like route again, and then we just copy this one and paste it, and this one's URL was unlike, so change this one into unlike. So it will be simpler than this uplike router, because all we need to do in here is, when this one is clicked, if we click this one again, the only thing we need to do is we can just delete that field we save inside MongoDB. When we click this like button, we can bring the like and find one and delete, and we put the variable and then execute the query, error and result, and if error, return response and status for 100, and JSON success, false and error, and if it was successful, response and status 200, and JSON success and true. So this is all thing for this unlike router, and we go back to like and dislike component, and then we need to do as we did in here. So we are going to copy this one and paste it, change this one into -1 instead of +1, and this one needs to be the null. But we actually don't need to bring this one in here, because there is no way the dislike button is already clicked, because this like button is already clicked. So we finished making this unlike function. So now we also need to make this onDislike function. We are going to put this on dislike in here to const onDislike, and the arrow function. We will also need to have two case. So if this like action is not null, and then if this like action is null, we do the axios post request again, and the URL will be API and like and on this like, and we put the variable again, and then response, if response and data and success do something, and else alert fail to on this like to decrease this like. And if we also need to copy this one and put inside this else condition, and this will be just the up dislike, and then we change this one increase dislike, and we need to go to like routes again to make this router. So come to like routes, so copy this one and here, and copy and paste it. So what we need to do inside this router, we are doing this on this right. So as we did in here, we copy and paste it, and we need to change this one into this like model. The other part is the same, so we already made this on this like router. So we go back to our like and dislike component in here. So it will be very similar to just this part. So we copy and just paste it, but this one needs to be set this likes, and this one needs to be changed into likes. This one also needs to be set this like action, and this one will be just null. But we need to change this one into small case for the L, so that errors goes away. And then lastly, we need to make this louder too. So go to our like routes again, and here copy and paste it. So change this one into up dislike, so it will be very similar to just this up like. So we will bring this one and then copy it, and this needs to be the dislike model, and this one also needs to be dislike, and we put this one in here, and dislike ledger, and I need to change this explanation in case like button is already clicked. We need to decrease the like by 1. So this needs to be just like model. We will get the like result. So now we finished making auto router. So we save it and we go to like and dislike component. So we copy this one and then paste it in here. But this has to be set this likes, and this likes +1, and then set like action will be disliked. And this one, on second thought, I forgot to put one condition in here. So if the dislike button is already clicked, so actually we don't need to have this condition, but it is better to have. So this like action is not null. So we will just trigger, we just change this state as we did in here. We will also do if this like action is not equivalent to the null. So we put these two change the state in here. So now we finish everything for our whole YouTube clone. We go to our website here. So I'm going to click this one. So and click this one. Or maybe we have some problem in here. So I'm going to check it. Our first problem is in here on dislike. So we need to change this one into set likes, and this one needs to be the likes, and this one needs to be set like action. And there are three more mistakes that I've made. So the first one is that it has to be get likes instead of get likes. If we scroll down, so in here the is right to use the like feature for get likes, but when we get dislikes, yeah, we should use the dislike so we can get the dislikes information. And the last one is, so I tried to copy this one in here and in here below, but actually that was wrong. For this and this and this and this louder, they also need to have the user ID. So we get that from the request body and user ID. So, and I just copy and paste it, and copy and paste it, and paste it, and paste it. And now we've really fixed all the problems, and we save it and we go back to our application and refresh it. And then we really try to play with this like and dislike button. So I'm going to just click anything here, in here, or even this one. So far it works really well. So I'm going to refresh the page so to see whether this data still persists or not. So I'm going to refresh it, and I'm going to just refresh it again. So this one still remaining here. So now we finished all of the YouTube clones. So it was a really long video, but you've done really well. So I really want to say you deserve to take a rest well. And I also bet you've learned a lot from this tutorial, because there were so many nice features you can learn. And later, I also have the plan to make the other clone like the Instagram or Facebook or Slack and so on. So I hope you will like it. And then if you have some feature or the clone you want me to make, so please just leave that comment below, so I will think about it. So thank you for watching this video, and see you in our next project. Thank you.